All right, what is going on, everyone? And happy Thursday, She-Hulk Thursday, Marvel Thursday. It's a Marvel week. Been a marvelous week, some may say, with a show that we're going to be discussing today, and easily the best episode. We got some Wakanda news to talk about today with that amazing trailer. We're talking Werewolf by Night, which I did get the opportunity to check out a little bit early, and that review is on the channel now. But we'll briefly talk about that a little bit later today as well, and just so much more, man. It's Listen, man, Thursdays, as we're here today, Sundays, those are my two favorite days of the week because I get to interact with you all live, talking about some of these great things like Marvel, like House of the Dragon, like Atlanta. So very, very, very excited to be back with you all here on this Thursday. Again, this is every week. This is wrapping up, man. It does break my heart, man. Next week will be the last week that we'll be talking about She-Hulk and Marvel content for till about a month and a half, 2 months with Black Panther, and then obviously TV show till next spring. So it's breaking my heart, man. And we're gonna be wrapping this thing up. But of course, we got all sorts of content that we'll be talking about weekly and daily and stuff like that. But listen. We're here, man, and I'm excited to be back with you all. I got the black banner right now because we're going to be talking about some stuff today, guys. Like I said, not only will we be talking about this amazing episode of She-Hulk, but we'll also be talking about, like I said, I got an opportunity to see Werewolf by Night. So we will be discussing that briefly, not too in depth because there is a review on the channel now that is spoiler free that you all can check out if you haven't already. But we'll be briefly talking about that up top. And then a little bit later after that, we will be discussing Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which dropped its first official trailer. Of course, we know we got that teaser a few months ago, and now we got the official trailer with the tickets on sale. So we'll be talking about that and thoughts on what we're hoping for, what we're expecting to get, so on and so forth. And then again, ladies and gentlemen, we got a fire episode of She-Hulk to talk about. Listen, I'm going to say it right now, man. It's not even a question that this was the best episode. It is such a great episode. I'm so excited to be talking about it with you all. So before we do so, and of course we have my homie Chris who'll be dropping in here in a little bit. If you guys haven't already, do your boy a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that share button. Of course, we're doing it live, so go ahead and leave all your thoughts on all the different topics we'll be covering today. Of course, share your thoughts on the episode that we'll break into here in a little bit. So definitely do that in the live chat. And of course, those watching the replay, man, we appreciate you showing some love, watching the replay. Shout out to the replay gang. So if you guys can do the same, again, like, share, comment, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got some people kind of trickling in. What's going on is saying, Shots saying good evening to you, Shots. Hope you're doing good. D Sharp Shots. I appreciate you tuning in. And again, let me make sure everything is good on the back end of YouTube. But again, we're going to have a good time. We are going to have a good time. And before we kind of get into the Marvel stuff, y'all, it's spooky season. And I am so happy to be at this time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year, man. We got so much stuff that I've watched in the last few days. I'm kind of in a whirlwind today. I had a ton of stuff to shoot before we went live. So I will be exploring and talking about some good stuff later today with Atlanta. I just watched that episode yesterday, and I'm excited to talk about that. And I'm so excited for you all to, if you're Atlanta fans, to see tonight's episode. And of course, I'm a Netflix fan, and particularly Mike Flanagan. We got Midnight Club to talk about. There's Hellraiser that's out now. I mean, there's so much good stuff going on right now, guys, especially if you're a horror fan. And speaking of fan, I'm a fan of this dude here who's joining me in the back room, our regular co-host, the homie of the channel, the Marvel expert, the the guy that just brings some fire every single week, man. I'm talking about my homie Chris from Taste Take. What's going on, man?
What up? Let's see. How we doing?
Hey, man. I'm doing good. It's been a crazy day, Chris. Been running around like a chicken with my head.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It's been one of those days, but we are here talking She-Hulk and so many other things, man. How you doing today?
I'm good. I was like, yo, how is it 5 already? I was like, nah, there's no way.
It's crazy, man. Time is just all right now. Super random. Are you a morning person, Chris? Do you wake up like early in the morning to get like stuff done? Do you kind of like, get into the rhythm of the day? Like, what's your routine normally, bro?
I'm a morning person and a night person. I go to sleep at like 2, and I get up at like 7:30.
Oh, bro, I'm the complete opposite.
But I'm a napper though. Like I have to take a nap.
Gotcha.
So like,
Gotcha.
there's rarely a day if I got up at 7:30 or whatever and go to the gym and all that. Like, there's a nap coming, and I'm not napping 2 hours. I'm in there like 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah,
just go.
Yeah, bro. I'm a night owl, so I'll be up every night 2-3 in the morning, watching something, writing a idea for something, or just effing around on social media. And then I'll be waking up like normally. If it's a good day, I'm around 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock guy. Still kind of meandering around with the pajamas on and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's one of those days, though, Chris. It's been one of those crazy ones, man. But speaking of crazy, bro, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. Not only, Chris, was this like, I don't even think this is a understatement is to say this is a great episode. It's the best episode of the season. Like, I don't even think it's a question. But we also got some marvelous news, bro. We got some Wakanda trailers out there. We got horror fans out there. Werewolf by Night, Chris, that's going to be dropping tomorrow, and then I got a chance to check out. It's a great time to be a Marvel fan, man. This is a great week for Marvel, bro.
It is indeed. It is indeed. I'm excited to check out the Werewolf thing. I gotta see it that Friday, I guess, when it comes out normal.
Yeah, it drops tomorrow. Yep.
It's tomorrow's Friday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of stuff. I nap at 6 or 8. Okay, shout out to this thing.
Definitely, man. Well, hey, Chris, again, I know a lot of people in the chat are familiar of you, but just in case someone's popping in for the first time or watching a replay for the first time, why don't you introduce yourself, my friend, and let them know who you are?
What's up? My name is Chris. I represent Tate's Take over here on YouTube, over there on Twitter, over there on TikTok. I do a lot of movie reviews, TV shows. I try to give you some background on the content, just let you know if I think it's worth checking out. So I know a lot of people that's checked in right now. They follow my stuff. They watch that stuff. They support my stuff. So shout out to y'all. But if you've never seen me or heard of me, check out a video or two. If you're into that, subscribe to your boy. All the information is down below, or to the left, or to the right. It's somewhere. But excited to talk this Marvel with your boy.
Yeah, man. Definitely check them out, man. Chris, what you been watching, bro, before we get into the discussion today, man? Any new docs people should be keeping an eye out for, or some great movies or stuff that you've been watching this week, bro?
Well, documentaries, of course. Jeffrey Dahmer's TV show came out 2 weeks ago. That's the #1 show on Netflix, of course. You guys have all heard of that. Mm-hmm. But there's a documentary that's coming tomorrow that has like the real audio from his conversations with his attorneys. So you get that like the behind the scenes crazy. So I think it's like a good matchup of like, you got to watch both. If you're into that stuff, you got to watch both. Right. That's fire. And then there's a movie that's coming out tomorrow on Netflix with my girl, my woman, my lover, Mila Kunis, called Luckiest Girl Alive.
Yeah.
And I checked that out last night, and I think that's a good movie. I think people are going to enjoy that. It's a nice, easy watch. Well,
it's not an easy watch. Is it a rom-com or drama?
It's not an easy watch. It's not. It's like a suspense thriller, like that kind of thing. It deals with a lot of like mature topics, but it's like a good watch. It's a real good movie. So if you guys are looking for something to watch this weekend for a movie, Luckiest Girl Alive. And then Jeffrey Dahmer, if you're into that stuff, his documentary comes out tomorrow on Netflix.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, I haven't seen Mina in something in a minute. With Bad Moms? It couldn't have been that long. That was like 2013.
Yeah, that's a long time. I don't know. Not that I can think of, but she's back like she never left.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that because I like her. I think she's great. 70s Show and all the stuff she's been in. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that. The Dahmer stuff, man. I don't know. There's so much Dahmer going on. Like, what the hell's going on here? But I still got to catch up on that show. I'd still only seen the first episode, which was definitely great. Also terrible to watch, obviously for obvious reasons. But I don't know, man. Maybe you've seen both, Chris, right? You've seen the docs coming out and the full series. Would you suggest one over the other as far as go in and watch the real stuff that happened in the show, or watch the show, then kind of get the research after?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think why they would like there must be a reason why they released the show versus this first. The show is obviously going to be more popular than the documentary. That's how it is. But it's pretty close. There's nothing that they like grossly messed up. So it's like, if you only watch the show, like you get a pretty good idea. The documentary it kind of humanizes him more. It's like, it makes you like, you're never going to feel sorry for him. But you're like,
That's interesting. I heard the opposite.
You don't have that at all.
The show, I heard the TV show with Evan Peters kind of sympathizes with him because they explore like his childhood and his dad. So you're saying it's the opposite, that the doc shows you a little bit more of like the human side of him, where the show is just more of the monster side of him.
Exactly, because he's not like he's not like the rest of these serial killers. It's like, I don't want to be like.
He was very blunt about it. He's like, yeah, this is who I am. This is what I do. What's up? Lock me up.
But not even what's up. Like, he's just like, I know this is wrong. I have compulsions. I feel terrible. I don't hate people. Like, and then most serial killers be like, no, I didn't do that. No, I'm evil. Da da da. He's just like, I think something's wrong with me, and this is what I do. And I know it sounds crazy with me even saying it right now.
And again, I'm gonna eventually come around to him. So, because I always thought it was some type of race, because I know a lot of his victims were black gay males, and I know he was gay too. So I thought there was a little bit of like discrimination. But you're saying now this is just part of the DNA, huh?
Yeah, no, he only killed the people that he was like obsessed with. So like he just was attracted to black guys, and it's like it wasn't. And then they weren't only black, but he lived in the hood. So like it was like you gonna be around who you be around.
Product of your environment. Yeah.
Interesting. It was definitely not about race. The race issue is because the police treated him as white
privilege.
So, exactly.
Gotcha.
So, but it wasn't him.
Chris, again, I got so much on the docket to watch, but one of these days, if I'm ever, I don't know when I will be in a mood, like, let me watch some Jeffrey Dahmer. But if I do have some free time or whatnot, maybe I'll pop it on. But something I would recommend, Chris, for not only you and the wonderful people in the live stream to watch, but everyone across the world to watch, Chris, is this little project that Marvel's bringing us tomorrow, which is Werewolf by Night, Chris. Now, guys, I do have just a quick little plug. We're not going to go too far into it because number one, is coming out tomorrow, but also number two, there is a video on the channel right now that actually kind of dives into my thoughts on it. So you guys can watch my review on Werewolf by Night, get into the nitty gritty without spoiling anything. So definitely check that out after you watch this stream. But listen, Chris, just some brief things I want to mention, man. This is a much watch. Number one, Chris, I know you're not a big horror fan, which is good because this isn't like straight up horror. This isn't like, to me, and again, I'm kind of desensitized towards being scared and frightened, but it's not leaning more towards that. It's more of a thrills, kind of campy nature, as a lot of people have been comparing it to, especially if you've seen the trailer. Kind of a throwback to the Universal monsters, with obviously a little bit of a Marvel twist to it. 52 minutes long, super. It goes by. The pacing is great. It doesn't feel like it's too fast, too short. You do want more, especially after you meet these characters. But Chris, man, I'm here to tell you, bro, they got some characters in here that I cannot wait to see more of. First and foremost,
are we expected to see them more?
I would hope so, man. Of course, Marvel. I've seen some interviews with the actors, and they play coy, like I don't know. We'll see. They have to. But I would to say this without giving too much. I would anticipate to see these characters more. And particularly, man, our lead guy, Gabriel Garcia Bertel, who plays Jack Russell, aka the Wolfman. He's going to be a fan favorite, Chris. This is another home run for Marvel when it comes to casting. He's great in the role. You sympathize with him. And something that I really enjoyed about him, Chris, is something that we're not getting with not She-Hulk, but the Hulk, Bruce Banner. We're missing that duality of like the monster versus the man. It's just kind of now obviously Professor Hulk and there's the jokes and all that. But this guy, you definitely see that Jekyll and Hyde and see that duality between him being a human being and that monstrous beastly side of him that I thought was explored pretty nicely. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris, I know we're both fans of Yelena. We love some Kate Bishop. We love Shang-Chi. There's been some great introductory characters in Phase 4. Chris, I'm here to tell you, bro, this young lady here, Elsa Bloodstone, played by Laura Donnelly, she's a fan favorite to me, bro. She is going to be, everyone's going to want a more of her. I'll say that because she is just awesome. She's badass. As soon as she hits the screen, she's kind of like I likened her to like a Constantine type of character for my DC fans out there. Very sarcastic, very witty, but like I said, can kick your ass in a heartbeat, bro. So I'm telling y'all right now, these characters are fantastic. The aesthetic is great. Michael Giacchino, you all might recognize that name. He composes great things from The Incredibles, a lot of the Ratatouille. Nice. He's done a lot of the Up. He's done Star Wars. He's done Spider-Man. He's one of the best composers in Hollywood. But this is his first time cutting his teeth behind the camera, and you couldn't tell that, Chris. Like, he did a hell of a job directing this, bro. And one more thing I want to mention before we wrap this kind of brief review up, because again, you guys can check out my full review. Chris, my man, they got bloody, bro. This is this is gory. Like, and to be fair, this isn't like Saw. This isn't like, blood and guts and all this stuff.
Crazy for Disney.
But crazy for Disney, crazy for Marvel standards, and makes me hopeful. We talked about Blade last week and being scared about the production, but I'm hopeful based on this project. As you can see on the screen now, guys, there's blood splattering, and hence why they do the black and white, because they don't want to get an R rating. But
yeah.
Just a quick scene, Chris, without any context. Let's just say a person has a sword. they cut someone's throat and then they put the sword in their head, and Marvel doesn't cut away from it. They show you that moment, and they don't, you know, they don't shy away from the horror and the gore elements of this, bro. So I'm happy to say, ladies and gentlemen, that Werewolf by Night is probably one of the best projects of Phase 4, like easily, without like even the second thought of that. I want more Michael Giacchino. I want more monsters. I want more of the supernatural in the MCU. I want more Jack Russell. Elsa is another character by the name of Man-Thing that I think people are going to fall in love with. It's great, Chris. It is a really great, man. And I really do hope people take the time to check it out tomorrow, man.
I will definitely be checking that out.
Yeah, bro.
Bernice in the chat.
It's highly recommended on this end, and I'm excited to hear you guys' thoughts come next week when we do the season finale of She-Hulk and see if you guys got a chance to check it out and how you guys feel about it. But before we wrap up, Chris, any other questions you got for me, bro? Anything you want to know about it? Without spoiling anything.
I was supposed to watch a screening for Amsterdam on Wednesday, and I watched some reviews and was told it was terrible, and I decided to save my 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I just want to make sure I made the right decision.
I 100% did the exact same thing. There was a screener almost 2 weeks ago that they sent out, and I was like,
which was crazy to me. I did see an old screening, and I was like, when does this movie come out? And then I was like, I missed that, and I was like, oh, I'll go to next week. And then I was like 2 hours and 50 minutes. I got to do mad shit, and I was like, let me check a quick review, because of course the cast is crazy.
Yes,
but. So I didn't know if you watched it. So good. At least I feel like I made the right thing.
I did have some plans of both of the screenings, but I wasn't like, I could have adjusted my schedule. But like you said, I knew some people that saw it, and it wasn't really. I mean, of course, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Christian Bale, Robert De Niro. The like you said, bro, the cast is ridiculous, but. The trailer never really sold me, and then again, the extra season on top was hearing that it was quite boring and not that good. So I guess we dodged a bullet.
2 hours and 15 minutes is a long ass time, and I saw some reviews and they were like, "You feel it." I don't have time for this.
Yeah, bro. We instead of for what, and again, if you guys want to see Amsterdam, by all means do so. But I would say put the Werewolf by Night on top of your list, and then maybe go check out something that can maybe put you to sleep. But yes, guys, check out Werewolf by Night, which will be coming to Disney Plus tomorrow. But Chris, man, let's transition over to something that I know is a very big film. It's going to be wrapping up Phase 4. We're obviously talking about, as you guys can see on the screen now, Wakanda Forever, Chris. Now, did you get a chance to check out this trailer, bro? It dropped, what was it, Tuesday or Monday?
It dropped on Monday.
Yeah.
Because I think it dropped with the tickets or...
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I checked the trailer out. Of course, not as epic as the first trailer, but it gives you more clues, of course. Does it give me too much clues? I just feel like I didn't need it. Like, and we always talk about the debate of like too much trailers. I know there's some people. I think Michael. I think even
Mike. He doesn't.
Did Frankie say she stopped watching trailers? Okay, Charlotte Bernice says she stopped watching trailers. I get it. The first trailer was critical. It didn't give too much. This didn't like. I don't see a need for this. I didn't see a need for this, because I know that the need is because we do 2 trailers all the time, or at least more than one. That's the need. But like this trailer to follow up that first one, didn't need it. It was
so I 100% agree with you. Trailers nowadays, I try to avoid them, even though, as you guys see on the screen now, I'm doing a trailer reaction.
Y'all were talking about the Ant-Man. I was like, I can't even touch that. I'm like, I didn't know what y'all were talking about. I couldn't click the thread because I didn't want to see nothing that I didn't want to see.
Yeah, little behind the scenes. Chris was talking about the little DM that myself and Amanda and Chris is a part of. Let's just say there's a trailer out there for a film that Chris has mentioned of Ant-Man, and myself and Amanda couldn't help ourselves. So we've seen some things. But either way, man, this trailer, to go back to your point, I thought the first trailer, emotionally speaking, definitely hit on another level. But the thing I did enjoy about this trailer, as you guys see on the screen now, Namor is coming, and he ain't playing no games, Chris. Like, first and foremost, the feathers on the feet thing kind of was like, I didn't know they can pull that off, but it looks pretty badass. Him hopping through the air is pretty cool. And, we're going to be getting to it here soon, but you got Riri Williams in the trailer. Of course, Angela Bassett, M'Baku, Wilson Duke, Okoye, all of them look great. We end the trailer with, I think, and the cast came out and said this other day, that everyone has guessed who they think that the new Black Panther is going to be, but none of us has gotten it right, apparently. Of course, they can say that now. But
who said that?
Who's it was I didn't click on the full article, but a lot of the cast members were saying that the theories out there that people just automatically think it's Shuri or it's
I thought it was Shuri.
I thought it was pretty obvious, but apparently the cast saying no, none of you guys have gotten it right so far. So we'll see. But overall, man, what did you think of this new trailer? Does it get you more excited for it? Did you buy your tickets? How are we feeling about this, Chris?
Yeah, every time I talk about this, I complain about AMC's system. It's still terrible. It's still broken. I got tickets, but not for AMC's lack of trying to destroy my life. So I have tickets Thursday night. Well, Thursday at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was dope. That's like the earliest I've seen tickets.
They've been doing 3, but
Okay.
3 on Dolby in New York City.
Gotcha.
4 is usually IMAX 3D, and then like 7 IMAX regular. But no, I'm not more excited. Like you can't pass the excitement level. Like nothing that for a movie like this, like no trailer is gonna make me more excited. Well, maybe trailer 1 did help.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited. It's like one of those things where like November 11th always sounded like Christmas, like so far away. But it's like now I look at the calendar, it's like that's a couple weeks away. Like fucking like Black Adam is like 2 weeks. Like it's all crazy. Yeah. So I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, man. I'm looking for. Of course, you know, you all might know. You know, I'm team recast T'Challa, and we'll see what comes of that in the future. But even putting that kind of aside for a brief moment, I am really excited to get more of Wakanda, and obviously these characters that were great in the first one, and to see how they handle, obviously, big elephant in the room with Chadwick Boseman's death and how that's going to play out. But I'm hopeful, man. Yeah, I'm hopeful, bro. You know, as far as Ryan Coogler pouring his heart and soul in its cast, doing the same thing, and meeting new characters. Again, Namor, there's a lot of rumors of other characters making an appearance, but we'll see, man. November 11th.
It's going to be good because this is the closeout, right? That's what they said.
This is the final. Yeah, this
it's going to be crazy. And then the runtime too. Like, think about how we were talking about. Was it Doctor Strange we were complaining about, or was it Thor we were complaining about runtime?
Both. Doctor Strange was 2 hours, and Thor was 2 hours.
Short. Right. And then they're giving us. This is what 240, 242,
241. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's right around the corner.
Remember the runtime for Black Panther 1?
214.
Ooh, backwards.
Yeah. So we're getting and it makes sense because again, Namor, his whole underground or no water world, of course, again, Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa handle that. So it makes sense why it's a much longer, lengthier film, but hopefully it means that it's going to be a good film. Because just because it's long doesn't always mean it's good, and just because it's short doesn't mean it's going to be good too. So hopefully, with Ryan Coogler, who hasn't missed a beat as far as direction, hopefully we got something special, bro. So again, guys, let us know in the chat how you all feel about number 1. Are you excited for Werewolf by Night? And number 2, how did you feel about this trailer? And have you picked up your tickets for Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Let us know in the chat. But moving on, Chris, bro. Speaking of fun and exciting and great, She-Hulk, my man. Like I had said, bro, I think this is easily, without a shadow of a doubt, the best episode that we have gotten of this series so far. And it's not to make the other episodes seem like they were terrible or whatnot. 1 or 2 of them weren't that great. But this one almost felt like, I don't want to say a new show, Chris, but this felt almost like a whole different tone. The writing was quick and whippy. We're going to talk about my man Daredevil here and obviously his interactions with Jennifer, but just your general opinion, bro. How did you feel about this 8th episode? Was it your favorite? What didn't work for you? And just your general opinion on it, man.
General thoughts on this episode. Enjoyed it. The breaking the third wall was probably the strongest. I think it's always been strong, but I think it was the strongest today.
I 100% agree. Yep.
Especially when she said, "Why is this episode still going?" I certainly asked that question. And then things that didn't work. I mean, of course, the Toad guy is weird, but like they handled it in a way it was like it wasn't any weirder than any of the rest of the fucking She-Hulk things.
Right.
And then, but the side banter was just so good, it just made me like ignore it. The first line of the episode is genius. Like these people explaining OLED versus QLED and all that. That's like the writers they're in the
they
mix.
have moments, bro. Yeah, man.
They're in the freaking mix. So that's good. What didn't work for me? What didn't work for me? Like Daredevil's suit looks a little weird. Just a smidge weird.
Yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to.
Also, well, what didn't work for me, and you watched Daredevil for real. I watched just a
big
little
fan,
bit.
big fan.
I didn't get how he could hang with fighting She-Hulk. Like, that fight should be over before it starts. So because I don't know enough about his skill set and all that kind of stuff, but or maybe she's pulling punches or whatever. But
right.
That was the only thing that threw me off. But a good 8th episode ended seriously, like we were expecting before the 9th.
Really good ending, yeah.
I didn't appreciate clips of Daredevil before the episode came and leaks and all that, but that's not the show's. Well, I don't know whose fault it is, but that's pretty much.
I mean, they put them in the trailer, so I mean, they kind of part of course, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see who wrote this 8th episode, bro, because I am so. I don't know if they directed Cody, Zachler, Jessica. Yeah, they've directed previous episodes, but it just to me, it just
even
had
the writing at that date, that awkward date, not the date, but the wine and all that. And he was like, "Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Got it."
Yeah, it almost felt like they just knew. I don't know if they knew, like, okay, man, this is the episode that a lot of people are anticipating, a beloved character. And to answer one of your questions too, and we'll get to that point a little bit later as far as the fight, but he is very skilled. I mean, he's like a ninja. He's very skilled. Acrobatics, which aren't in a Netflix show. Like, they actually gave him stuff more true to the comics than what the Netflix show does, because it doesn't really show him doing all the flips and jumps and all that stuff like we see in this episode. So, but I wouldn't say if the push came to shove, She-Hulk would destroy him. Like, if it really came, like, if they were really getting at it. But I think you kind of hinted at it. She was not holding her punches, but I don't think she was like going for a kill shot. She was kind of sparring, getting to know who this person is in a certain extent. But Daredevil, he's a reason why people love him, and there's a reason why he's one of the most popular characters, because he can do some things, man. He got some special abilities. But jump into the episode. Yeah, go ahead, man.
And no, I was about to say, and he's smooth.
He's smooth. And that's enough, Chris. I can't tell you again. Watching a series is kind of the most I've ever took in on Daredevil, but I've read some very, like, when I say read, it's like very light reading of Daredevil comics. Matt Murdock's a player, bro. He's a playboy, and we get to see that in this episode. Like, and I really enjoy that they kind of allow, again, giving us a little bit of a different version than Netflix, and giving us a little bit more of that comic book accuracy that even the great Netflix show kind of was a little short on. But just you touched on it here, Chris, and just kind of elaborate on it more as far as the opening frog guy, Leapfrog. This is the character we've all been waiting for, right, Chris? We meet this goofy, kind of almost kick-ass type of character who is just completely absurd, can't fight, can't do anything, and ends up messing up his suit and trying to take on these robbers. I think he called himself the guard frog, man. What did you think of this opening, man, and this character in particular?
Well, I already told you, I love the opening line. That's genius.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to respect, like, I hope that they know, like, the writer would write that in and they'd be like, no, they won't understand, they won't get that. And I'm like, I just want you to know, like, I'm here for you. But the opening, I was like, what is this stupid ass villain doing? But it was cool, like, that his shit wasn't working. Like, I understand, like, where they were going, like, with this whole thing. I mentioned I have not a love-hate, but just like a hate or hate and less hate relationship with the designer. And in this episode, again, he started off rough, because I was like, ugh, would you really be acting this way? Like, it's not her fault. Then as the episode went, and then his courtroom demeanor brought me back, and I was like, all right, I like this.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I liked how he turned it around. I'm all over the place, but that's
you're good,
all connected to the opening. But yeah.
Yo, this show can be a little bit all over the place, but the one thing, the consistency, like you said, Chris, I think there was a level of consistency and a level of taking these characters and putting almost a different tone on them. Like someone, I think it was Gumbo Geek said, it almost, I wish this show would have maybe had this consistency as far as tone, where it can be funny and have fun and poke jokes and whatnot. But then as we know, we're 7-8 episodes in, it hasn't been consistent, even with us being a little bit more maybe positive on some episodes than other people. But yeah, the tone and the jokes and the ground in the reality, the superhero moments, the banter between those two, as we kind of get the whole idea of this episode, Chris, is that she has to represent him, or he comes to her to represent her, and she has a conflict of interest because, as you kind of allude to, the guy that makes the costume, I believe his name is Luke, he wants to sue Luke because the costume malfunctioned. And again, this is the type of like courtroom stuff that I was hoping to get every single week, besides shape-shifting elves and
Yeah.
Wong with his whole sling ring and all that stuff. This was the type of stuff like, yeah, this is really, and also I would say the Immortal thing last week was a pretty interesting kind of twist on a superhero court drama. But what did you think about this week's court case, Chris? Was it one of your favorites, man? And was it something that you enjoyed?
I liked the courtroom back and forth. It was funny. It was well executed. And I didn't see people really reviewing this episode, so I don't know if people are already saying this, but I did think that making her look like a bad lawyer was kind of weird. Like, what I mean is, in the banter with between her and Murdoch was good.
Yeah,
and she's making good points to the judge, but just asking him, "Hey, did you follow the instructions as they were sent to you before it started?" would have been a normal legal step. So it's like, I'm willing, of course, suspension of belief. Okay,
sure.
But I think in real life, she would have got that.
She would have been prepared
beforehand.
Yeah.
So it's like, it kind of came across like Murdoch is like a better lawyer.
Yeah.
But I would have maybe liked to see her cook him or surprise him, and it shows the viewer like they both are like that.
Right.
But I get why they had to do it this way.
You know, that's a good point that you bring up, Chris. I mean, we see that a lot. You know, famously, I've talked about how I feel like Spider-Man No Way Home dumbed down Doctor Strange for he can be on the level of Peter Parker. And I totally kind of agree. Now, my lack of She-Hulk knowledge, and again, I don't know. We don't know where this version of Daredevil, he's been a lawyer more, it's not more, but longer than She-Hulk. Maybe he deals with more of these cases than she does. And maybe she was thrown off guard because she thought that he wasn't going to be represented. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a quick turnaround. Who knows? But I do agree with you that you would have expected Jennifer to be a little bit more prepared and maybe to ask that question first versus kind of going in blindly. But as you had mentioned.
Also was in the Daredevil TV show, was it customary for him to be like late to court? Like, was that like his thing? Like, he kind of just like flippant?
He would be occasionally because he is Daredevil. So sometimes he'll be running a little bit late because he just got done fighting Kingpin or looking at, scoping some drug deal or whatnot. So sometimes he would be running a little bit late. And as you mentioned, Chris, with going back to the banter and the wittiness of this episode, I was parking my car.
No, that was great.
Nah.
That was great.
That was a good moment. And right off the bat, Chris, as soon as we get to see Matt Murdock again, I know you've seen the first few episodes. Remind me, Chris, how far did you make it into Daredevil when you saw it on Netflix?
Maybe how many episodes the first season? Like 12 or 16?
Yeah, they were deep. They were
so like maybe I got to like 8 of season 1.
Okay, gotcha. Well, right off the bat, and you can attest this because you've seen a good chunk of the first season. This to me, Chris, again, being a big fan that I am of this character, especially from the Netflix world.
Consistent.
That was very consistent.
Unlike Kingpin.
Unlike Kingpin, very much so. Thank you, man, for reminding me of that craziness. But now this was the perfect balance to me, Chris, of how we talked about, Blonsky seems a little bit, obviously it's been 15 years since last time we saw him in Incredible Hulk. Wong seems to be a little bit more goofier, but this to me was a really good tone, Chris. Like, what did you think about Daredevil, or I should say not Daredevil, but Matt Murdock, based on the 8 episodes you saw on the show? How'd you feel about his the tone and the banter and just the character overall, man?
No, it seemed consistent. It seemed like I wasn't watching a new version of him. So I was like, okay, I see. I was like, hopefully the Daredevil fans, the diehards, would be happy with this so far. Again, I think that the suit looks cooler on Netflix, but that's whatever. I guess that's like 100%. A small point.
Yeah.
But as far as his personality and his lines, I was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing was corny. Like, he didn't say anything corny or whack. Like, and it was like smart legal stuff, and he was like trying to bag that thing. So I was like, hell yeah.
Killing multiple birds at one time. But Chris, I'm a big Marvel fan, man, as you are as well. I was listening to all these little words and sentences and all that stuff. There was something that Daredevil dropped on us, Chris, where he referred, it was a really quick line, very quick, but he referred to the Sokovia Accords. And he said particularly the Sokovia Accords have been appealed. So now, I mean, we've been talking about this since goddamn last year, Chris.
It's different because it means reversed. Because appealed is something where like maybe they'll just look into it again. But yeah.
So that's huge, bro. Like the Sokovia, and I wish it was maybe more emphasis on that. And I imagine it will be. And Secret Invasion or whatever political show we get next. But that's huge news, man, that we have that the Sokovia Accords are definitely different than what they were last time we saw our heroes fighting on screen in Civil War. But again, man, like you said, Chris, you hit the nail on the head, bro. Seeing him in court and Jennifer going back and forth and actual like court terminology, and also just to go back on the courtroom scenes, it felt like a court. Like every other courtroom scene that we talked about so far, it's been like too jokey. The judge seems like this their first day doing a trial. Everyone's joking and kidding. This felt like a courtroom, procedure, and I enjoyed that element, man. Like 100%.
Yeah, no, it's 100% agree.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I don't know what the writers were. Had to step the game up, or Kevin Feige was in the office that day and they was like, listen, man, y'all better get this shit right or y'all won't be coming back. But no, I really enjoyed that back and forth. And like you said, man, Daredevil, or I should say Matt Murdock, beat She-Hulk in many different ways in this episode. If you can catch my drift there. But speaking of player of all players, man, we get into the scene here where, again, we get more of the not just She-Hulk, but Jennifer talking to Matt. What'd you think about this back and forth, man? And again,
at the bar?
At the bar, this kind of smooth, suave. I'm loving this, man. What you think, Chris?
No, I love that. And of course, like I said in the beginning, I love breaking the third wall. Like, you guys feeling this? Like, yeah, we were all feeling it.
Yeah.
So great line there. She gave like a nice little, she shifted the drink. So it's like, okay, they're trying to be a little like mindful of that, being realistic. She wants, and of course I love when he's like, next time I'm in town. Well, is that later? I guess I don't even know. This is the
same. He says, he has to go to work, and he's just like, he tries to like say, "Can I get your number?" But he's like, "I'll see you around" or something like that.
Right. So yes, with the line I'm talking about, I guess, is after they fight the henchmen later, or the goons.
Oh, that was
this scene was good. Yeah, break the third wall right there, perfect. Yeah, great.
The wall break,
and of course the drink was a nice touch too. And
green apple martini.
It's a green apple martini, but then there's a flash of red. Talk about Red Hulk in the episode, and there's a flash of red at the last end of the episode when the lights are flashing red in the building.
Come on, Chris. Come on, man. This is the attention to detail in this episode is kind of next level, man. As we kind of move on through the episode, our douchebag of the show, Todd, texts her, and I'm not gonna lie, Chris, I got a pretty good laugh out of his banter in this moment where he's talking about he went to an auction, and which I'm very curious on how he came about that, by the way. I don't know if that plays into Infinity War and there's like a bunch of Wakandan gear out there, but he says he won $1 million, and she's just not impressed. $1 million. Not impressed. $1 million. Yeah, I got that, Todd. It's just okay. Keep going, man.
I got it. That was the best line of that interaction.
So great. And the Wakanda Forever too. It was okay. You're making me very uncomfortable now because it is very weird seeing someone out of our skin color doing that. I will admit, I love that Jen caught that and the writers caught that too. But either way, he's getting her there, which again, Chris, I think it's really kind of obvious almost at this point that Todd is probably the main guy behind all this craziness. Which, by the way, we talked about last week when we talked about the phone being cloned, and we said that it was probably to, show all her, text messages and all that, which ended up being. But anyway, Chris, your thoughts on this dinner scene and Todd, and again, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that she showed up to that. I forgot how they explained that.
Because he's an important client, and he texted her and said, "I thought you guys were 24/7. Do I have to talk to your manager about that?" Kind of like putting her job on the line or something like that.
Yeah. I thought the banter was good, and of course, I'm glad she left. But yeah, like I said, I rewinded that, got it line. Like it's just subtle goodness.
Yeah. No, it was definitely goodness, and again, I got a kick out of the Wakanda reference. That man, you don't do that. Don't do that ever again in your life. But as we see again, that was her business call compared to our Matt Murdock's business call. It kind of they meet at the same time, Chris. As he's, I believe, I can't remember the kid's name that played the leapfrog, but he calls her and tells her that he's being physically attacked, which, we finally get the suit in action. Chris, man, what did you think about the She-Hulk in action suit, bro? Did it work for you?
No, it didn't work for me. And I think maybe it would have worked, but I think it was the shoes that threw me off. Like, it should like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, here we go. Perfect shot.
Yeah. I think the rest of the suit, the clothing was fine. but I just think the shoes made her look like it was like an 80s workout video.
What are those? You know what?
Yeah.
Actually, since you bring that, I think that's actually, it might be comic book accurate too. 'Cause I think those shoes might be something that she might flex in the comics. So
I
there might
bet
be a
it
little
is.
nod there.
I bet it is, but I'm
You
like,
telling me
damn.
you wouldn't cop those, Chris? Like those
The air, the air,
Yeezys,
the air, the air She-Hulks.
the E-Hulks? Yeah.
The Sheezys?
The she
Oh, the Sheezys. I would definitely cop some Sheezys. If they were called Sheezys, I would have to buy them just for the names. What are those? Oh, no, I use Sheezys. Yeah.
These are Sheezys, man.
Yeah. The rest of it is like, okay, it's fine, but it's like she do look like a 1985 volleyball player.
Chris, man, you coming at my girl's outfit, bro. She was swag. I like it, man. I like it. It's not perfect.
Your boys' work. Disrespecting your boys' work.
True. I mean, both of their suits are a little bit maybe not refined, and maybe we'll see upgrades for both of them. I will admit the Daredevil, and that is comic book accurate. I do hope it's an upgrade coming soon, because it is going to take me a minute because I prefer the red like all day every day. But you alluded to it earlier, Chris. You know, they get this little battle scene between these two. You know, she's causing havoc, which will, you know, that ties into a little bit later. She's going ham.
Great call out by Matt too.
Yeah,
great call out later.
Oh yeah. No, again, man, their back and forth was incredible. But she identifies him as Matt. She takes off his mask, and I did get a good laugh out of the problematic. Wait, are you pretending to be blind? Because that would be a problem. No, I'm actually blind. And they go into his whole origins and how he's able to have enhanced sights and hearing things. Man, again, what'd you think about that banter, Chris? It's just
hold on 1 second.
Oh, you good, bro? You good? Here, I'm trying to actually get the line up to that scene.
All right, we good.
But what did you think about the reveal there, man?
Thought the reveal was good. You know, it's always superheroes. Like they'd be like I would have been like Matt with the mask on. Like, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought great lines with the mask, stuff like that. But like what I was saying is like later in maybe the next scene, or like this related to this scene, I love how she was like, yo, I could just smash things. And he's like, yeah, but who's paying for that damage? Like he's basically just like, you don't gotta mess everything up. Like, which is like a very Avengers thing to do. Like, yeah, fuck that. Like we're just kicking ass and breaking shit.
Exactly.
So I liked it when he was just like, hey, like there's a better way. Like this is like the real world. So yeah, that was my favorite interaction out of them as like their characters. And
then, I mean, another thing too is it shows them complete different styles of how they go about their superheroing, right? Obviously he's healthy and then dash to get things done. So it definitely kind of speaks to their, their traits as these superheroes. But I will acknowledge too, Chris, and again, I know you can appreciate this since you've seen most of the first season, is the little the hints of his old score when she's like, hence I would probably attack the person that's dressed up like a devil. And he's all, fair point. And he mentioned, what are you, the Gold Devil? He's like, no. And the music kind of hints in, I'm Daredevil. And she's, I don't know who you are, bro. Which again, there's a much greater conversation about, okay, if he has been in New York this whole time, where has he been during the, Avengers 2012 or during the Spider-Man incident or whatnot? And obviously that's something Marvel's going to have to.
They're going to address it. And there's time to address it.
Exactly. And again, we already know this is pre-blip. So maybe they'll say he's been gone for some of it because he was blip. But, I am very curious to know what he's been doing, as well as the, X-Men and Fantastic Four and so on and so forth. But, we'll leave those answers, those questions to be answered in his own series, which we know.
Marvel's going to handle that.
Yeah. Again, I'm very curious to see how they do that. But again, as you touched on earlier, Chris, their chemistry, their banter is pretty off the chains, if you ask me. But as we kind of move on throughout the rest of the episode, unfortunately, Mr. Leapfrog takes it upon himself to kidnap Luke to make him a suit, which is definitely a very stupid move, if you ask me, especially knowing that he makes suits for superheroes, and they were probably looking for him. Not the most smart idea. But Chris, man, you touched on it earlier, the goons versus henchmen and the differences, and again, showing how he is, and this might goes back to your point earlier when he beats her in court. He's been doing the superhero thing much longer. So he has a plan, a strategy, to go into things in a certain way as he shows off more of his abilities of hearing the 25 heartbeats and hearing her heartbeat and kind of impressing her at the same time, man. What'd you think about Daredevil's approach into entering this warehouse and ultimately getting our first big action fight scene with Daredevil in the MCU?
Yeah, I thought this scene was good. Maybe if I could change something, I would have made Jen more skeptical. Like because the average person, especially someone like Jen, who's an attorney, would have been like, wait a minute, it's already crazy that you're like, it's like a blind attorney, like getting into the courtroom, like without people helping you, holding your hand. Like, you're kicking ass blind, like how? And then he's talking about, oh, I'm hearing heartbeats. I would have been like, Jen would have been like, no, you're not hearing heartbeats. And then, because then when he says even yours, that if you're hearing any heartbeat, you would of course hear the one in front of you. So it's like, how is it impressive if like you should be hearing mine if you're hearing these random dudes inside? So like, I would have loved a little bit of more pushback from Jen.
Right.
And then even if they don't want to address it, just have Matt like, don't worry about it. And then maybe a Jen break the third wall where she goes, we're not done with this. I'll get back to that. Like that kind of
right. We're going to I mean, you need to show me how you go about doing. Yeah, it was little nitpick things like that. I just assumed that she just kind of accepted it because I mean, hell, we're talking about a Hulk and Avengers and Thanos of the world that people just kind of like, yeah, that lines up. You can hear hear hearts, and we got a leapfrog villain. So, but going back to just this actual fight choreography, and again, I can't remember what episode it was in season 1, but you might remember it. Well, even if you don't remember the episode, I think you can remember the hallway fight in Daredevil. It's like one of the most famous fights of the show where he's wearing his all black suit and he's like, it's a one take where he goes up the stairs, fights all the dudes in the apartment. Do you remember that scene by chance? Or is it too far gone?
I don't, but go on.
Where I'm getting at is the man can kick ass, Chris. The man is a hand-to-hand combat expert, and we get to see some of that in this particular scene, man. I'll just say it now, Chris. It was fantastic, bro. The fights in this show haven't been the greatest due to the fact that She-Hulk isn't as skilled as a hand-to-hand fighter. She's more of, again, smash, Hulk smash, and it's not a lot of, choreography involved. But what did you think of the fight in this particular scene, man?
I thought the fight was dope, but question for you would be,
sir.
The hand-to-hand people that we have so far in the MCU, whether they're alive or dead. I'm thinking Black Widow, maybe Hawkeye,
sure,
Black Panther. Where do you think he lines up or matches up with the guys that we already know, guys and girls that we already know?
Good question, man. I would say, as far as if we're just talking about MCU and not like comics, because there's a lot of people like that. MCU. I think he would put those hands on Clint, Hawkeye. If we're talking about T'Challa, non-Herb, just regular skilled fights expert, I think T'Challa would probably get the W, even without the Black Panther Herb being in him.
Black Widow.
Him and Black Widow would be a nice fight. It would be a really tough one. I'll go a toss up with that one because Black Widow, even on the MCU, sometimes it didn't show us all her abilities. She can go toe to toe with. I mean, hell, like I said, I mean, we know she beat Clint in Avengers, as well as she had the upper hand in the Civil War. So, out of all the characters, I would say Shang-Chi's probably the most skilled hand-to-hand combat person. But I would say he's easily like top 3 without a doubt as far as combat goes.
Got it. That's good.
And again, I'm excited to see him, in his show using more of that combat. But as he's been,
his shows for what, next year? Or?
2024. Yeah, because they're going to be shooting next year and they'll be out in phase 5. So I'm pretty sure of that. But yeah, I'll double check, but I believe it is 2024. But and I'm going to look that up in a little bit. But as they're taking out the goons, they end up taking down Leapfrog and the rest of his men. And again, the banter of like, maybe we can use it in court that you have, PTSD or whatever. And Matt throws this 2 cents.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So great. But we wrap up the episode, or wrap up the fight sequence with them on the rooftop, Chris, and shaboing boing, my friend, shaboing boing. They just cut the BS, as you mentioned earlier. Next time I'm in town, maybe I can take you out to dinner. And she just says, "Listen, bro, we can skip all that and just get right to it, man." Your thoughts, Chris? Respect to her, and listen, man. For anyone out there calling She-Hulk this, that, and the third, come on, man. Women can
leave her alone.
Yeah, leave her alone, bro. It's such a
let her be sex positive.
Yeah, man. It's such a dumbass double standard. She's a single woman ready to mingle, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And shout out to her for doing that. And shout out to Matt being, Matt Murdock and a smooth criminal, man. What'd you think about them? And just, again, straight to the point. Shaboing boing.
No, I thought this was a great scene. What I thought was like a close to the episode. or I guess close to the close of the episode. But
yeah,
yeah, I thought that was a fire scene, and then I was
walk
like,
of shame,
yeah,
bro.
that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. I was like, why would he not put the shoes on? Like, who wants to walk barefoot? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, or if anything, I would just been like, can I just borrow some clothes? Like, I'm not wearing this mask.
Hey, no shame in this game, I guess, man. No shame in it. It's Halloween, in the MCU right now, so maybe someone just thinks he's rocking his Halloween costume. But and plus two, he's
fire.
He's known in LA, or he's known in New York, so people wouldn't even probably even think of it. Especially there's superheroes like Leapfrog running around. But yeah, you pointed out, Chris. I thought the episode would have ended on that note, but the show, I think this is one of the more poignant and cool. Breaking the fourth wall when she's like, "Whoa, what's the twist? This is the finales next week." Like, that's pretty funny stuff, if you ask me, Chris. But wrapping up to the final moments, man, the gala stuff was a little cheesy. I mean, that stuff to me in the episode was just like, oh, it's fine.
But the banter in the house was fired too. And then when Nikki called her the real devil.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let Nikki not get her flowers. She's watching. I see you.
Nikki's great. Nikki's great, man. And also shout out to Mallory when they get up on stage and just give all the women the award.
Nice touch there too. Nice touch there.
She says, being a woman lawyer is like when people have to ask you, what is it like? Like, yeah, I love Mallory. But unfortunately, Chris, this nice moment is short-lived because the Hulk King, which again, I don't think is based on this little, like the way they presented this seems like a joke. So I think it's Todd at this point that he would like present it in this manner and not be more, a little bit more, evil, quote unquote. But I mean, this is not to get me wrong. This is a pretty, putting someone's shame out there, putting someone's business out there, which I don't even know who these two guys would be.
I mean, it was very like anonymous.
Squid Games, right?
But of course, like anonymous, they're good guys. So like it wouldn't be anonymous, but it was like that type of look,
right?
And sound,
right. And it leads to, again, we talked about last week, why do they need her information? Well, they are putting all her stuff out there, her bills, as we can see, her dating profile, her banking information. Like they're going hard on her, but more importantly, they're shaming her, man. They're talking about what she does in her private or own home. And Josh, man, look, bro, we need to find Josh, all of us collectively as Marvel fans, and just
beat his ass,
bro. Like, for real, man. There's I guess technically there's the She-Hulk sex tape out there, Chris. How much do you think that's gonna sell? Be the number one downloaded Pornhub video this week, bro?
Look, if it was real, I would have already found
it. What's my man Ray J? I hit it first.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, it will be pulling in numbers like no other. I'll tell you that, Chris. But her dirty laundry's out there, and she is upset, as she should be. But unfortunately, her being upset is much different than a human being upset because she's a Hulk, Chris. And it's crazy how quickly these people changed up on her. And I love how the show showed that too. Like, at the end of the day, you are a Hulk, and they know about what the Hulk can do. And when they see this, they get upset. And I love.
It's been a while since we saw that. Like it reminded us, like, oh yeah, she got that in her.
Exactly. And you touched on it earlier, the red, normally in film and TV, red means bad. So they show us that in tenfold as she goes outside. She's ready to, again, take on these soldiers or whatnot. And I wish she would have been like, okay, this is the bad guy. Can you guys stop him, please? They just let him run off. But whoever this person was in a mask. But we end on this note, Chris, man. What did you think of this ending? And what does it mean for next week? Are people going to hate She-Hulk now? Is she going to get fired? Is she going to have to start from scratch?
Or maybe Matt Murdock has to defend her.
I like that. Yeah.
I thought it was a good ending. Of course, my dumbass sat to the end for a post-credit scene. Okay. But of course, like I mentioned in the first episode, that art is fire. I love the watercolor effects on the credits. I love those. And there's always little moments that you see, like her bra hanging on his helmet or his mask. Like, love that stuff. Love the ending. Next week, I don't know what's gonna happen next week. I don't know if they'll make her the enemy just for this random outburst, or maybe it just sparks a crazy debate where it's just like,
brings back the Sokovia Accords or something.
or just like well, why shouldn't she be mad because this is invading her privacy? Like,
exactly.
Because if it was a man, that was like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's that kind of thing. But yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see, man. I know you got to head out here in a little bit, Chris, and I always appreciate you, bro. But yeah, I totally, and we'll also too, guys, we'll stay on for another 15, 20 minutes, and maybe we'll share the link for you all can share your thoughts on this episode. But yeah, no, Chris, I totally agree with you. I think we're going to see, and who knows, maybe the show brings up that debate. You know, the show has been kind of missing out on having a little bit more in-depth social commentary on how women, you know, the double standards of certain scenarios play out. So maybe they'll have like a intellectual conversation about why,
or maybe she just, or maybe she name drops. Like, I mean, maybe it's in bad taste, but like, you guys all celebrate Iron Man, the Playboy. Like, why am I out here being a victim?
Being slut shamed, yeah. And I think they even said in the episode, "Why is she so slutty?" or something like that, which I thought was, you know, throws.
That's the line that they use right before they drop the tape.
Exactly, man. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm looking forward to next week, Chris. And like I said, I know you got to head out here, man, but we'll still be on for a little bit. But Chris, man, any final words and outro and out, man? Again, if you want to plug anything, let people know where they can find you and the next bit of content you got for the people out there, man.
All right. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Of course, Elliot's got some more content for you, but I got a jet. I'm actually headed to watch Chris Rock live, actually. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I bought these tickets in March.
Oh,
and this was before Slapgate. So I was like, you know, the price went up crazy after that. So I'm like, this is my first time seeing him, of course, live. Like, this is his first tour, official tour, solo tour since the incident. So obviously I'll talk about that next week, let you know how that was. But yeah, Taste Take. I'm editing this Jeffrey Dahmer video, so I'll put that up. And then next week I'll hopefully have some new stuff for you guys. It's a busy month. It's just a busy month in like regular life stuff. So I'm trying to get some more videos out, but definitely check out that video that I should have out tomorrow. But besides that, I'll be checking out the Werewolf joint on Disney Plus. So make sure you guys check that out. Check out E's review on that. And I am very behind on Atlanta. So I got to do that sometime before I get, I know. I got to get
bro. Without say anything, Chris, tonight's episode, fire.
Did we already talk about how she goes to my gym, Zazie? Did we talk about this already?
You lying, bro. Zazie Beats is at your gym?
All right, let me just say, I'll tell a story real quick. I know it's not about She-Hulk, but let me just tell the story as fast as I can.
Let's hear it.
So boom. I go to the gym.
Yeah.
My same gym. I've been going to the gym for 10 years. Long time. Maybe not 10 years. So boom. I go at the gym usually the same time, but like sometimes like if it's like a slow in the work day, work at home, I'll just go in the middle of the day. So one day I go at like 2:00, which is like real quiet for the gym, like no one in there. I walk in there, it's like 6 people total in this whole gym. There's 2 women on the little yoga mats, and I don't even pay attention. Like my gym don't really got no hottie, so it's not like I'm out there like who's here today, whatever. I'm just like out here working out, whatever, boom. So I pass these 2 women. They're working out. They're not together, but they're just the only 2 women in the whole gym. There's like 4 other people there total. So now I look at her on the ground. I just don't recognize what's happening. I go to the other side of the gym. I'm doing some other shit, just getting my shit right. Just getting my, getting my crunches, getting my, everything, getting my little cable crossovers and all that stuff, pec flies, all that. So boom, I'm watching from across the hall. Now I'm very far from her. I'm thinking like 20 yards. I'm watching her and I'm like, she's cleaning up the mat using the little wipes, like she's like a good gym person. I'm like, all I'm thinking is, wow, it's good that woman is cleaning up the thing. Like that's so nice of her. But I'm watching her, and I'm like, nah, that couldn't be. No, nothing really. Like I'm really far away. Of course, I have my contacts and stuff, but I was like, there's no way. And then I'm like, let me just go over there, because like it looked like if she was gonna keep working out, then I would have just went over wherever she was working out and be like, oh, how many more do you have? And then I would have been right there. So boom, I go, like I look, she's about to leave. So I'm like, oh, I got to go now. I leave all my shit, my bag, my phone, all that. Like I leave it all in the, like where I'm working out at. So like I go to the elevator, like, cause like that's where she's going to be. There's only one exit. So like I go to the elevator. Right. And then I like peer over when I get to like the, within the COVID range. And I'm like, I was like, I thought that was you. That's literally what I said. I was like, oh, it's her. And I go, I thought that was you. Then I put my fist down. And I go, I'm a big fan. She goes, oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. I go, yeah. I was like, the first thing. Then the second thing I said is like, you go here, and she's like, because my gym regular, like it ain't Equinox, like you know what I mean, like it's whatever.
Yeah.
So and she's like, yeah, sometimes I go, you live around here? She goes, yeah. I go, all right, cool. I was like, yeah. And at that point, it was the week
and
that
she's
Bullet
solo,
Train
right?
was
There's no
coming
like
out. She's by herself. She got the fancy Apple headphones, but she's by herself. So like, and it's dope because like it's quiet, so like nobody else going crazy. That's probably why she go to that gym anyway, because like anybody really bother you.
Yeah, right.
So like I'm gonna bother you because I got time today. I got time, cuz. So I go, So I go, bet. I go, so I'm like spitball, Chris Tate. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, congrats on Bullet Train coming out. She goes, I'm gonna check that out. She goes, oh, I thank you.
Oh, this is recent. I missed that part.
This is the week that Bullet Train came out. So like,
oh damn, yeah, this is a couple months ago. Yeah,
whatever.
Okay.
So I'm like talking, and I'm like, yeah, like, she's like, wait, what's your name? I go, girl, my name. And I go, my name is Chris Tate, and she's like, oh, it's good to meet you. And then she goes, and I go, and Atlanta was just like the trailer had just dropped, and I was like, Atlanta's about to come back. We waiting on that. I was like, you was going crazy in that last episode, the finale of the previous season.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I know. Everybody said. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, you was going crazy. And then I was like, you know what's really crazy is that like, and then like, you know, the good angel and the bad angel. Yeah. The bad angel was like, no, the good angel was like, all right, Tate, you did enough. Get out there, leave her alone.
Yeah.
Go back and work out. And then the bad angel was like, tell her about your channel. So I was like, you know what's crazy is I actually do cover content. You know what I'm saying? I just cover movies. I got my own YouTube channel. She goes, oh, wow, what's your channel called? I go, what's my channel called, girl? So I go, it's called Taste Take. And she's like, oh, wait, what is it? Taste Take? And she goes, wow, that's so interesting. That's so cool. Yeah. So I'm talking. And then what's crazy is that like, now you're probably thinking like, did she press the elevator? Boom, right, she did. Yeah. And that elevator to the gym is trash. So like, and then when it opens, like they give you no room. It's like, nigga, you better be in it or else we gonna close. So in the middle of my rant, of my just talking to her, the elevator comes, opens, and then she's like, oh, the elevator, and then it closed right in her face. Boom. And I'm like, girl, you gotta be fast over here. She's like, no, it's fine. I go, it's fine. Oh shit, we go together. And of course, at this time, everyone's talking about shooting your shot. Like, I know she's dating this white guy, or maybe she's engaged to this white guy.
Yeah.
So I know, but I don't know.
Right, exactly.
He not there. So anyway, so long story long, we wrap up. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, like we should like connect or whatever. Like, you know, like maybe we could do like an interview or one-on-one. She's like, all right, yeah, no problem. Like here, like you can email my publicist or whatever. Like she's pulling out her phone to like give me information. I'm like, Z's is pulling out her phone to give me something from her phone to put in my phone. I'm like, this is as close as me making out to her that I'll ever get. And now I'm gonna take it. So I go, and again, to the people in the crowd, when I tell you this, we're at the gym. So obviously I'm not a woman, but I would imagine most women would think, it's just I'm at the gym looking crazy. This girl looked like a 10.
I bet.
This girl was a 10.
I bet.
Anyway, so yeah, just clown. So no offense.
Lucky.
So I leave her. I shake her hand. I say, it was a pleasure to meet you. She goes, very nice to meet you too. I say, good luck with everything. Hopefully we connect in the future. We will, of course. Yeah. I go back to my workout. At that point, I had only got to the gym. I would have been in the gym 10 minutes. I only did one thing so far. Bro, when I tell you, I go to the next machine, some guy was waiting on it. Some guy was working on it. I go, how many more you got? He goes, I think you're like 4 or 5. Bro, I took my backpack. I put that thing on. I walked out the gym. I said, nah. Like, what am I working out for? Like, I can't think. I can't focus. I gotta get out of here right now. I did one workout and went home because I was like, I can't think straight. Man. I don't need to be here right now. My day has already peaked. What am I gonna do? Work out?
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I gotta go. But
fantastic story, Chris.
To the people out there, follow your dreams.
Follow your dream. Shoot your shot, guys. Listen, man, this has been Chris from Taste Take, guys. Links in the description. He'll be back next week talking about the finale and hopefully giving us some review on the Chris Rock special. Chris Rock, I used to know how to do the impression with the hands and all that stuff, but we'll talk to you next week.
I'll definitely let you know how the show goes. I'll hit you later tonight. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Thanks for having me on. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll be here next week for the finale.
Awesome, man. Well, hey. Tell Draymond to stop hitting on Jordan Poole, and we can.
We can't. I gotta go. I can't even touch on that right now. I'm already at a high level of anxiety, but we'll talk. Peace, bro.
All right, man. All right, guys. So that's the homie Chris from Taste Take, man. Again, links in the description. Check him out. As you all know, that's the homie. So definitely check him out. But hey, like I said, guys, we're gonna be. If you guys want to, we did it last week. We had my man Coyote jump on for a little bit. It was really great. But if you guys want to come in for 15, 20 or so, no pressure at all. I'll stay on for another maybe about 5:30 because I do have to edit a video that's about 30 minutes long, a little sneak preview for you all. We were just talking about Atlanta. I shot my review today, and it's a long one. It's a 30-minute video. So, and there's a reason for that when you guys see the episode of Atlanta, but I got to finish editing that and get some other editing done before some other stuff I got to do tonight. So I'll be on for another, 23 minutes. So again, if you all want to join in, put a 1 in the chat. You don't have to, because like I said, I got some stuff to do, but I would love to chop it up with you all for another 15 minutes or so if you want. So if you want to join in for, again, 10 to 15 minutes, share your thoughts on the stuff we talked about with She-Hulk this episode, what it means for the finale. We talked about, what did we talk about up top? Werewolf by Night. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on it without spoiling anything, I can definitely do so. Or if you guys want to talk about that Wakanda trailer that we got earlier this week, let me know by joining the chat. So again, if you want to join the chat, just put a 1 in the chat, and I will share the stream link with you all, and we can chop it up for, like I said, about 10 to 15 minutes. But if not, like I said, we'll just we'll call it a day and go about our business. But no, seriously, man. This episode, as me and Chris talked about, I thought it was fantastic. I'm really excited to see where next week ends. Hopefully it ends on a really good note, because this episode was great. I think it'll be a great way to end on a high note versus some of the Marvel shows have been ending like on a really poor note, right? It's been the only 2 finales that I enjoyed. Number 1 is Loki. As you all may or may not know, Loki's still to date my favorite Disney Plus show. Hands down. That had the best finale. Next to that, just thinking of all the finales right now. Falcon and Winter Soldier was solid. We obviously got Sam in a full suit. He embraces the shield. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah. I'll say that's probably up there for me. Y'all know how I feel about Hawkeye. Bottom of the barrel. WandaVision was okay. It felt like a different show at that point. It was so like grounded, as it could be, as grounded as it could be with, witches and androids falling in love. But it got a little hokey and a little bit too big for the show that it was giving us. So I felt like that one was a little bit off-putting, but it was okay. Moon Knight was solid. I'm trying to remember. There was the fight, the big gods fighting, kind of fell out of left field, but that one was solid. What else? What other finales? Miss Marvel was fine. What If was pretty cool. That was the Ultron episode. So what I'm getting at, as you all can see, the finales have been kind of hit or miss. So I'm hoping that next week's finale for She-Hulk is more low key than it is Hawkeye, if you know what I mean. So, and also too, I should ask Chris and let me know, for all those who are still watching, do you guys think Daredevil's going to be back next week? I think they said he's only in 1 episode, but do you guys think he'll be in the finale? As Chris said earlier, do you think he's going to be maybe helping Jennifer get out of trouble with now everything that went through in this episode? So let me know if you guys would like to see. I mean, of course, we would all like to see more Daredevil, but do you guys anticipate to see him next week? So let me know in the chat. But I don't think no one wants to join me, which, like I said, is fine because I got to do some editing. But final call. This is the final call for alcohol. We'll put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to join. If not, we'll wrap it up. And as far as things to look forward to, like I said, tonight I will be dropping that 30-minute plus Atlanta review for an episode that definitely needed that much time, because there's a lot going on tonight without spoiling anything. If you've seen the trailer, you kind of know what to expect tonight. It's a Zazie Beetz van focused episode with a lot of good stuff. So keep an eye out for that tonight. Of course, if you guys haven't already, check out my review for Werewolf by Night, which is on the channel now. Spoiler free, of course. If there's any C fans out there, we'll be talking about C episode 7 tonight or tomorrow morning. And then what else do I have for you guys? Jesus, what's the name of that show? Netflix Midnight Club. If you guys are Mike Flanagan's fans, that's his next show. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow as well. Another big, huge 30-minute video, because I broke down the whole series and did like an end and explain video. So keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, we'll be live on Sunday talking about Atlanta, our live stream. And Sunday night, we'll be talking about House of the Dragon. And next week, Halloween. And the week after that, Black Adam. So a lot of great content lined up for you guys, and I hope you all are enjoying the content, because I enjoy making the content for you all. So I guess, like I said, no one wants to join your boy, so I'm going to call it a day, guys. And I appreciate every single one of you all for watching today's live stream, liking the video. If you haven't, go ahead and hit that thumbs up before we wrap out. But I appreciate y'all. Thanks for the awesome comments in the chat. AZ, let me pull up your comment here. I need to see Bruce in the finale. That's a good call, AZ. I think that's a very good call. I think we'll see Bruce returning from wherever he was, I'm assuming Sakaar. Will he have his son with him? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's a good call, AZ. I think we will get Hulk next week. Will it be a post-credit scene? I don't know, AZ. We might get a post-credit scene with the Hulk, which also brings me to Titania, where is she going to be involved? Is Belansky going to be involved? Wong. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what next week's finale has to be bring us. But I do hope to get to Hulk next week. Good day to you, sir. Good day to you. So again, shout out to every single one of you all showing some love and support and joining me today. And keep an eye out for all that content I just mentioned. Again, check out that Werewolf by Night review. I had a fun time making that, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But in the meantime, y'all be safe. Y'all be cool. Y'all, be nice to one another. It's good to be nice to people, but you guys are awesome, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care, everyone. Peace out.